Everybody, it's him, Guyena Kabelo, but you guys can call me Babu KP. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. And I want to tell you guys that Jesus loves you so very much. Uyantanda ngenhliziyo yakhe yonke. Everything uyantanda. So, guys, today the topic of this session is: Are you Ikwefi? Are you Ikwefi? Or let me say, can Jesus heal the heart of Ikwefi? Can Jesus heal the heart of Ikwefi? So Ikwefi is a character in Things Fall Apart. Things Fall Apart is a book that was written by Achebe, a Nigerian writer, a very powerful Nigerian writer. He died I don't know how many years ago, but he's a very powerful Nigerian writer. So this is Things Fall Apart, a very powerful book. We are currently doing it in English home language in grade 11. It's a very powerful book and I like it. So I want us to critically look at Ikwefi in chapter 9, page 61, and link it to the Bible, and link it to us Christians, and link it to our daily lives. So yeah, let me read chapter 9, page 61. Ezima was the only child in the center of her mother's world. So guys, Ezima was the only child Ikwefi had. And Ezima was the center of Ikwefi's heart, which means Ezima was so close, so dear to the heart of Ikwefi. It's like Ikwefi was like her world to her. Like I feel like she had that thing of saying, if Ezima dies, I'm dying too. It's like Ezima was her life. At some point, I feel like if Ezima was a Christian, she was going to love. If Ikwefi was a Christian, she was going to love Ezima more than even God. But as we go through the story, we will see why. Why did she love Ezima so very much? Yes, parents do love their children so much, but the love that Ikwefi had for Ezima, it was big. Very often, it was Ezima who decided what food her mother should prepare. My black mom telling my mom to say, "Mommy, today we are eating this." I can never. Okay, I can tell her to say, "Mommy, today we are eating this," and then she agrees. If she doesn't have anything in her mind. But it's usually rare. If my mom comes home and says, "Today we are eating spinach and pap," there's no one that can change her mind. There's no one that can tell her, "Mommy, no, we are eating papa nenyama, namhlanje sidla papa nenyama, or namhlanje sidla ipapa nemince, or rice nemince, or spaghetti nemince." No one can change her mind. That's one thing about my mom. My mom does not like someone who tells her what to do, especially if you're a child. You're telling her what to do. She doesn't like that. However, Ezima was so close to the mom to an extent that she would even tell her mom what to do. She would tell her mom what to prepare, what food to prepare. It wasn't wrong, but to a certain extent, it was wrong. You understand what I mean? I feel like there were times maybe Ikwefi wanted to prepare maybe pap and meat, but Ezima would come and say, "No, mommy, namhlanje sidla ipapa ne spinach," and the mother would just agree. My mom would never be like that. She would, my mom, okay. Ikwefi even gave her such delicacies as eggs, which children were rarely allowed to eat because such food tempted them to steal. One day, as Ezima was eating an egg, Okonko came in unexpectedly from his hat. He was greatly shocked and swore to beat Ikwefi if she dared to give the child eggs again. So during those days, eggs, they thought eggs, if you give eggs to children, children are going to learn how to steal. So to some extent, I do agree. You know why? Because I remember when I was young, with my brother, my mom would buy for us chocolates, and we would eat the chocolates. So she buys for me and my brother, and then she buys for herself. Then you know how parents are. Then she puts her chocolate in the fridge, and then she strictly says, Do not touch my chocolate that's in the fridge. Aye, but me at night, or maybe when my mom is not in the house, sneak, open the fridge, check the chocolate, and I eat. I feel like kids are like that. When you introduce kids to sweet things like isn't as nandi, they get addicted to them to an extent ukuthi bayakhona ngisho ukutshontsha. Till ukuthi you buying your children, you usually buy your child stock sweet. And you know, most children love stock sweet. Then you buy a packet of stock sweet and you tell your child each day you take one. Umntanakho when you're not there, if you're not in the house, 3, 6. You see, so to some extent it's true because I feel like I've experienced that. But so during those days, eggs were delicacy to children. Angithi mina during my time now, chocolate is a very nice thing. You understand? But during those days, eggs were a delicacy to children. Children loved eggs. Children, eggs were like sweets, were like chocolate, were like cake to them. So so one day Okonkone walked into Okofi's head and found Ezima eating eggs. Yo, Okonkwo was shocked and he was furious. Yo, I'm trying to remember, Okonkwo is a very short-tempered person, and I want to say this to Christians who are very short-tempered. Jesus was never short-tempered. Jesus was very slow to anger. The only story where I heard Jesus got angry is when people were selling in his father's temple, and that was valid. Him getting angry was valid. That was the only time I saw Jesus getting angry, when people were selling in the temple of God. And he was not only angry because this is my father's house, you don't respect my father, but I feel like what made him angry even more is that them selling around the temple was blocking people who were not Jews, was blocking Gentiles from coming to the what is this, to the temple. It was blocking people from coming to the temple. So yeah, so guys, if you're a person who's short-tempered and you know this is my weakness, remember, God did not create us to fight sin. He never created us to fight sin. We don't have the power to fight. Fighting sin is like you're fighting the devil. You don't have that power. You need the Holy Spirit to help you. So you need to pray to God that God, I have this sin that is in me. I get angry too fast. Whenever I'm talking to someone, my fist just burns like Okonkwo. The Things Fall Apart says Okonkwo would stammer. He wouldn't get words out of his mouth quickly, and so he would pounce. He was a pouncer. He would pounce. So his fist talked more than his mouth. So there are some of us who are like that our fist talks more than our mouth, and we know that no matter how much we tried to give up or fight this, we just couldn't. So God is saying to you, come to me and I can help you. So constant prayer, persistence, patience, and spending time in the presence of God. I tell you, you don't see yourself changing as time goes. It is the power of the Holy Spirit. Okonkwo had come in unexpectedly from his head. He was greatly shocked and swore to beat Ukwefi if she dared to give the child eggs again. He was very angry. Yay. But it was impossible to refuse Ezima anything after her father's rebuke, she developed an even cannier appetite for eggs. And she enjoyed above all secrecy in which she now ate them. There's this sentence that says here, but it was impossible to refuse Ezima anything. You know, there are some parents who spoil their kids so much to an extent that they can't refuse their kids anything. They can't refuse their kids anything. I'm here to warn parents. Stop spoiling your child. Teach your child that there's a word called no. Teach your child there's a sentence called I don't have, I can't afford. Teach your child that they won't get everything they want in the world. Hayi yonke into abayifunayo bazoyithola. That's how life is. So you can't keep giving your child everything they want. I love parents who do this, who say to their kids, maybe the child is gonna say, "Mommy, I want a new phone. My phone is broken," and the mother says, "Okay, pass with 4 level 7 cell phone and I'll give you." That's a very good parent, teaching their children good morals. But there are parents who spoil their kids way too much. You know, I'm reminded of this story. Ne? So I stay near a squatter camp. My flat is like at the top of the road. But when you go down and just mawuhamba phansi, ne, you turn a right. Yeah, you just go right and then you look to your left as you are going. You see a squatter camp. So there's this guy. Ne? This guy, ne, I think he's in his 20s, somewhere earlier 20s or late 20s. So this guy one day went to his mother and went to ask for money from his mother. You know what the guy did to the mother? So he went to ask for the mother the money from the mother. The mother said to the child, "I don't have money." He beat the mother just because the mother said, "I don't have money." He beat the mother. Imagine beating your own mother just because your mother said he does not have money. Somehow I do blame the child, but somehow I also blame the mother. Because when I heard the story, I found out Uti, the mother from a very young age was spoiling the child. Whatever the child wanted, gave the child. It was impossible for her to resist what the child wanted or to reject whatever the child asked for. So I'm just here to warn parents who are like that. You can't be spoiling your child so much. Your child will end up getting this mentality to say, "I get whatever I want, whatever I want." Mm-hmm. Don't teach. Let us not teach our children that way. Let us not singakhulisa abantwana bethu that way. So I really urge parents that let us teach our children morals. Let us grow our kids in a way they should grow. The Bible says, "Masikhulisa abantwana ngendlela kwamele bahambe ngayo, and that's a godly manner." So yeah, I'm coming back right now, guys. Back. Hi guys, there's nothing burning. I thought there was something burning. I was getting scared. So let us continue. Yeah, it also tells us Guti, after Okonkwe rebuked Ezima from eating eggs, Ezima continued to eat eggs even more. Worse. Why? Because of the mother. The mother started making the child addicted to eggs. Because the mother did not akazange akhulisa umntana in the way they should go. So now bheka umntana, the child is addicted to eggs, akakhona ukwayeka. Even though eating eggs, she knows Ekwefi knew that eating eggs was wrong. But we will see why was Ekwefi so like this to her own child. Imagine, her mother always took her into their bedroom and shut the door. So Ekwefi knew that Okongo does not like this, does not like the child to eat what eggs. And he was valid because those days it was said, that was the norm, that was the moral or whatever, to say children should not eat eggs because they'll learn how to steal. She knew it was wrong to give the child eggs. But she loved the child so deeply to an extent that she gave the child anything. But I don't believe that was love. I don't believe that was love. It was something deeper. Because if you love your child, uzomkhulisa ngendlela kwamele akhule ngayo, so that when your child grows up, they stand up to be a successful man and a woman with morals and with wisdom. Because if you mawukhulisa umntana ongenama morals, angeke aye ndawo empilweni. If ukhulisa umntana ongena wisdom, angeke aye ndawo, I promise you. So if you love your child, if you're a parent and you love your child, even if it means you saying no to your child, even if it means you not giving your child what they've asked for maybe 2 years or I don't know how many years. That's okay. Just ukuthi ukhulise umntana wakhe ngendlela akwamele akhule ngayo. So the mother would call whenever Ezima wanted eggs, she would call Ezima into her head, shut the door and give Ezima eggs. How? Mamonjani ko lonto le ofundisa umntana wakhe into wrong. Kahle kahle, you are teaching your child to say still. You see? Ezima did not call her mother Naye like all children. She called her by her name, Ikwefi, as her father and other grown-up people did. Yo. Aye, Ikwefi, you were spoiling your child too much. In Africa, a child calling their mother by name. I can imagine calling my mom by name. The slap I will get. Impama ngizoyithola lapho. Yo, me calling my mom by name. Ezima was spoiling this child way too much. It says she called her mother by name just like other old people, other grown-ups called the mother. Imagine, Mina, as a child, I'm supposed to be calling my auntie. I can't be calling my auntie Elsie, or Tandega. Imagine. As a child, I have to call my auntie with respect, auntie. I can't be calling my auntie like how other old people call her. But Ezima did it. Ezima called her mother by name like other grown-ups did. And Ekwefi had no problem with that. Ekwefi treated Ezima like she was an egg, spoiling her way too much. And she doesn't realize that honestly, the relationship between them was not only that of a mother and a child. There was something in it like the companionship of equals, which was strengthened by such little conspiracies as eating eggs in the bedroom. And guys, I want you guys to remind me, there are some I'm not good with reading, so there are some other words, Nigerian words here that I may not pronounce nicely, or please bear with me. I'm not good when it comes to reading. So, like I was saying, yeah. So they were saying, Guti, these two, Ezima and Ikwefi, a mother and a child, their relationship was deeper. It was bigger than just mother and child. It was deeper. It was like a companionship of equals. Like it was a relationship of like equals. Like me and my friend Wendy. In our relationship, we are equal. In our friendship, we are equal. However, when it comes to me and my mom is here, I am here. We are not equals. Let me say this to parents: you cannot be equal with your child. You can't have anyeke ukhale sakhe isicathulo emcede ukhale isicathulo saka mntanakho. Wena nomntanakho angilingani. You must be here, your child here. There's no ngani with your child. Yes, sometimes you need to be friendly with your child. Be like a friend to your child, but there are boundaries. Ekwefi never set boundaries with a child. Never set. There were no limits. There were no boundaries. So Ezima started seeing her mother like they were equals. Like my mom is my friend. I can say whatever I want to my mom. I can do whatever I want with my mom. She's my equal, and I am. She started seeing her mother like that. Why? Because of the mother. And it says their relationship was strengthened to that extent because of such small conspiracies like the ones of eating eggs in the bedroom. Do you see how little things can make a child grow to become a notorious child? Little thing that when as a parent you do. That little word called no that you don't give your child makes your child to grow up to become what? A notorious child. A child without morals. It was none. So watch how yes, there's no problem making your child happy, but spoiling your child is a problem. Ikwefi had suffered a good deal. This is the part where I want to go. Ikwefi had suffered a good deal in her life. She had born 10 children and 9 of them had died in infancy. Oh, usually before the age of 3. So I think this is the reason why. So it says Ikwefi suffered a good deal in her life. She had born 10 children, none of them had died in infancy, usually before the age of 3. So Ikwefi had born 10 children. 9 of them died in infancy, usually before 3 months. The only child that survived was the 10th child, that was Ezima. And as we go through, we will see why was Ezima so just so comforting, or so Ezima ngathi qanda. Why she was so, I don't know what's the word, angazi, why she was so loving. I don't know what's the word, why she was so like that to Ezima. And I see now the reason is because she lost 9 kids in infancy, and Ezima survived. When Ezima survived, Ezima brought back light into her life when she was in darkness, because she had no kids. And because of this light that came, she never wanted to lose Ezima. She wanted to treat Ezima like a parent. She never wanted to see Ezima cry. She wanted to make Ezima happy. And I feel like she was not responding to the love that she has for Ezima. Because if she loved Ezima, she was going to bekazokhuliswa Ezima ngendlela that she should go. But she was responding to the pain that she went through throughout the 9 kids she lost. Let us continue. Let me not get deep now. As she buried one child after another, her sorrow gave way to despair and then to grim resignation. So as Ikwefi gave birth to children, as she buried one child after another, she started giving up. She started getting comfortable in the pain. She started getting comfortable in the darkness. She started saying, you know what? Yeah, this is me. There are some of us who have gotten comfortable to darkness. We have gotten comfortable to pain. A lot has happened in our lives. We have prayed to God for many years, but God seems not to answer. Our hearts are always broken. We are always losing our loved ones. There are some of us here, we want to have kids so much. We try our best, but we don't get kids. And so now you've gotten to a state where you have given up. You have given up. You've gotten comfortable. For now, I wanted to continue till the end, but for now I'm going to end here. I'm going to bring back the part 2. There's a story that this other preacher talked about. There was this lady now who was sick. I don't know, I think it's found somewhere in Matthew. I don't know where. I had with the pastor, with this preacher on Sabbath, and he said that there's this, we read the chapter, so this woman was sick in the temple, very sick in the temple. So she would pass by the temple every day. She would be there by the temple, and she was like this. She was, her body was bent like this. I don't know how you can see, but yabona ngathi uso, yabo. I like what the pastor said. The pastor said, a temple is supposed to be a house of prayer. A temple is supposed to be a house of healing. A temple is supposed to be a house where the children of God are supposed to get help. It's a house where we are supposed to cry. It's a house where we're supposed to pour ourselves. It's a house where we are supposed to get help, get healing, get restoration, get refreshment, get rejuvenation. It's a house where desperate people would go and come back free from the bondage that they've been in. It's a house where the ones who are in captive would go away, but when they come back free. However, this woman, whenever she went to the temple captive and she came back captive. She went to the temple sick and she came back sick. And what's even worse about it, the leaders of those temples and the people that would go to the temple never attended to her. They gossip about her and they said, Toluguti, you are walking with your child. One of them, and then the child would say, Mommy, what's going on with that woman? And the child would want to go to the woman. The mother would say, No, don't go to this woman. Don't touch this woman. She has demon or whatever. And so that's how they treated her in the temple. They treated her like she was nobody. We now have churches that treat drunkards like they're nothing. Churches that treat prostitutes like they are nothing. Churches that treat people who are in bondage and who are in captive like they are nothing. People who do not put money in the offering like they are nothing. Is the house of God supposed to be for the rich? Is the house of God supposed to be for the ones who are free? Is the house of God supposed to be for the ones abaphila butebu? Is the house of God supposed to be for only the ones who their lives are going well? The house of God is for the ones who are sick. The house of God is a hospital for those who are sick. And so why do we Christians tend to judge those who come for healing, tend to judge for those who come for restoration, who come for salvation? Why do we tend to push them away? God says in the Bible, you have shamed my name. You have humiliated my name. You have embarrassed my name. Because of you, people call me names. Because of you, people don't trust me. Because of you, people do not want me anymore. And so many of us Christians, we have judged people a lot. Many people have left Christianity because of us. We have turned the house of the Lord to be something else. And so this woman, she started getting used to, there are some of us who go through so much pain and stay in this pain. This thing, so let me say this then. This woman, when she got sick for the first time, she had hope. She went to the temple and said, you know what, I'm going to get help. She didn't get help. 1 year passed. 2 years passed. 3 years passed. She was still having hope. But as time went, when she saw, no matter how much I try, I'm not getting hope. She started getting comfortable in the sickness. She started getting comfortable to say, you know what, this is me. This is how I am. There are some of us who have gotten comfortable to darkness. We have gotten comfortable to sickness. We have accepted sickness. We have accepted darkness. We have accepted shame. We have accepted embarrassment. We have accepted poverty. We have accepted suffering in our lives. And so now we are used to it. It's now a normal thing to us. It's a normal thing. Being heartbroken is a normal thing to us. That's what this is how this woman was. She now got too used to people swearing her, people gossiping about her, people calling her names in the temple. The leaders not even wanting to help her. She got used to it. And so the other day, Jesus was coming towards the temple. As Jesus was coming towards the temple, I feel like the woman did see Jesus. And she knew about Jesus. She knew many people spoke about Jesus. They said Jesus is a person of healing. But she didn't mind, because she had that thing in her mind to say, people of God, people who call themselves men of God, people who call themselves children of God, they won't help me. They hate me. They call me disgusting. Because in the temple, the leaders of the temple didn't help her. The leaders of the temple treated her like they are nothing. So she had that mentality. Even when she saw Jesus and she heard of Jesus, she didn't, oh, Jesus, Jesus. Because why? Her mind was already fixed. Her mind was already rooted in Uguti. I can't get help. In Uguti, the preacher, or Uguti, the pastor, or the man of God won't help me. They don't value me. And so she saw Jesus and she didn't mind Jesus. But when Jesus came, Jesus noticed her from afar. From afar, Jesus noticed her. I want to say this to people. You may be far and you may feel like no one is noticing you. But when people are not noticing you, Jesus notices you. And when Jesus noticed her, he turned his full focus from the rest of the people to her. Jesus said in the Bible, I'll leave the 99 to go fetch that one. If it means me taking off my attention from the rest of the 1 million just to go to that one, I will. And so Jesus turned his focus from the multitude, from the people around him, to that woman, to that one that needed help, to that one that needed to be saved, to that one sheep that was lost. That's the God we serve. And so Jesus called for that woman. And that woman, when she was here and she heard someone calling her, she went like this. She was shocked. The reason why she was shocked, because she was not used to people calling her. She was used to people calling her names. She was not used to people calling her with respect. She was not used to people calling her by name. She was not used to it. So when she heard someone calling her by name, she was like, who's that? For many years, no one called me by name. And she looked. She looked. You see, when Jesus saw that lady, she never only saw sickness. He never only saw sickness, but he saw bondage. He saw the deprivement of freedom. He saw a person who was imprisoned spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. This lady was not only bent physically, but she was also bent spiritually. That's what the devil wants you to do. Sometimes the devil will bring suffering into our life, poverty in our lives, so that he may attack us spiritually. So that we don't only become broken emotionally, but we can become broken spiritually and mentally. He wants us to get used to brokenness. He wants us to feel like no one can help us. He wants us to feel like Jesus cannot help us. But I'm here to tell you, there's someone who the devil is scared of. There's someone who's able to free you from your captivity. There's someone who's able to release you from the prison you are in. His name is Jesus. And he loves you so much. And so Jesus saw something deeper than the physical sickness she had. He saw the hand of the devil in this woman's life. He saw the hand of the devil. Jesus sees beyond the physical pain you're going through. He sees what's happening in spirit. That's why such things are happening to you. And so he has come to free you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And so this woman was healed by God. Not physically only, but spiritually. Jesus restored a hope. Jesus brought light to her. And that's what Jesus does. When we are gone, finished, and we've given up, that's where Jesus steps in. That's where he steps in. When we have lost hope, that's where he steps in. So I'm telling you guys, if you are Ikwefi, the part 2 is coming. I want you to know that God can. Just trust. Trust. I promise you he can. Thank you very much.